Division 1, it's never a really good idea to hand this over.
Yeah, it isn't. Now, you've got ideal lineup here for Meteor as well. I mean, Clockwork Lina combinations, very bog standard. You've got the front line for Lina to get her spacing out. It's rather interesting that Poke have gone for the Drow themselves. I mean, in theory, it's like a range core that kind of matches how far Lina can hit. So you can't stand a million miles away. Aaron.
Yeah, I mean, he's just kind of rushed in here on his own. Battery Assault's going to hold him down. Of course, you're going to have the Light Strike Array, and there's just no survival. TZ, he's going to be very happy with that kill. Securing first blood on the Clockwork, he'll buy out some brown boots and a mango, or rather 2 mangoes and a brown boots. And that's a fantastic start here for Poke. Or rather, Meteor Gaming, excuse me.
Yeah, they're going to have a great time starting. You're going to have even more presence coming out here on her Clockwork. And the side of Poke, they've got to be a bit cautious. That's something that could happen over and over again with this Ricky support. You can get some stuff done in lane. Your laning partner with a DP, it can get aggressive off the Blink Strike slow. You can kind of maximize it there and try to run in with Spirit Siphons, but it's just risky. The Clockwork is just such a great foil to that. And I think for Poke, yeah, it's a matter of waiting till minute 15. You know, you get that shard, you feel a lot better in that Ricky.
Talk to me about this mid lane for a moment, John. We're seeing Dragon Knight versus Mars. DK, you know, it's one of those heroes, right? Like, I wouldn't say it's very good in the current meta. What are you thinking about this? Like, do you feel like maybe in conjunction with the DP, it offers enough? I'm just trying to look for kind of the shining light here with this pickup.
It's push. It's all about push. You've got DP, you've got DK, and Drow. They're looking to end this game very quick on the side of Poke. Now take out the objectives, prevent the farm for the Lina, maybe take away some of the impact that the Beastmaster will want to do in some split push as well, and just kind of go from there. So it's just a matter about playing around objectives for the side of Poke. They've got to be able to play around that spike early on for V and for Killa, but it's going to be a rather boring mid. Like, this is a 1v1 that doesn't tend to land into kills. Just all farm, not real action coming out,
Molasses,
maybe some rotation, so.
He's barely going to be okay just getting out of the range of the multi-shot. You just can't be too confident against the Undying with all those decays being taken away here from Molasses. So much damage to be taken out. Instead, though, Mar Blue's now the one to be chased down by Lunfer, but won't have the control for it. Just level 1 Frost arrows at the moment, so just not enough slow. And it seems like Meteor at this top lane, they're just going to keep going for the creep pulls. They're not interested in trying to force the 2v2 scenario. Obviously, very unfavorable matchup here for the Beastmaster against Drow Undying. So they make the right move. They just keep pulling creeps, and that way you never have to deal with this duo.
Yeah, you've got the Summon Boar anyway to tank through those creeps. You can just get your EXP gain here from Molasses, work your way towards that Dominator. You are surrendering a lot of free farm out onto Lunfa, though. And the Drow timings can feel maybe slightly faster than Lina. I say that, it's arguable. Like, it feels like Needland's times are just better across the board than basically every core. So the key thing is just to have this Drow ready to go to join in some push action. Because, again, you tie in with the DK, you tie in with the DP. With all that output, you can melt this map quite fast.
Speaking of that DP, Killer right now being chased down. Cogs will land, so TZ catches a couple, but the problem is his battery assault will wear off and they won't have the follow-up damage. It's like, was just more interested in hitting creeps. He is only level 2 to be fair, so doesn't really have the damage output. No, you're looking back at that Radiant Triangle as well. Nice creep pulls happening here by the boar of this Beastmaster. And I believe he found a double stack. The Ancients as well. Very, very good.
Yeah, just been highly efficient playing with the Axis and the Boars, which is something we used to see Beastmasters emphasize a lot more. Not in recent time. It's all about lane domination, but having the room to get that build up for the Lina, massive. Even the Morris is going to enjoy that flash farm, work onto the Blink, and just have more activity if they want that way.
Cookie up. Lunfer getting caught on the Drow is still going to try for a run, and it's going to be okay to back off, but Marblu kind of proving a point here that he can dish out a hell of a lot of damage on that Snapfire. Lunfer can't feel too safe even against that Snap. Molasses, of course, just more than happy to keep hitting creeps on the Beastmaster for now, just looking for that Hood of the, rather, Helm of the Dominator timing. And here we go again, Marblu. Another creep pull away. Nothing really stopped this from happening. And even more stacks being made in that Radiant Triangle, just with the boars.
That is pretty ridiculous. Surely at some point they scout it out. And they could easily steal it for themselves just with Drow multi-shot. But the angle to work their way in there, going up against Hawk Vision potentially down the line, you're not going to be getting that angle. So again, a strong start for Meteor from the top. They're still trying to get aggressive bot.
No, Tricks of the Trade is barely there for Aaron, but the final hit will come in, and TZ was actually the one to take the kill with the battery assault. They do find Aaron here on the Ricky. It's been a very good laning stage from him so far on the Lena. Again, you kind of said this already, but you kind of expect the Lena to have a very good laning stage no matter what happens. So far, 2 CS ahead of the Drow. There's really just nothing they can do to slow her down, and here we go again. The stack's being made. Let's see if he gets it this time. He won't get the large camp, but more importantly, he got the Ancients, which you always want over the large camp if you can.
That's just so much farm. Like, Jesus, that's way too much farm to give out later on. It's going to be key now for Poke to take this mid-tier one so they can invade the triangle. If they can't, eventually this Lina will have Maelstrom. Eventually the Mars will just run up with God's Rebuke and clear it out himself, and you're going to have to deal with quite the net worth bump here coming out from Meteor with her early spikes that both of these heroes can give them.
That mid lane's the one we haven't really gone back to yet either.
Yeah, because it's boring, Mike.
It's
DK
very
versus
boring.
Mars. Nothing
I
happens.
appreciate
Look at
that,
CS. It's almost dead even. A slight lead for V, but more denies out for YRG. No support rotations out. Without support rotations, you are just stuck farming. That does force V to go Dragon's Blood at the least, but he's still farming.
I mean, I love the fact that you just try to rush through the analysis. You obviously find this lane very, very boring.
It's literally nothing. It's like what used to be the matchup that was also boring. DP versus DK was equally boring.
Right.
It's just, no one's gonna die. You're just gonna farm on both ends. Kill is being caught out here, though, speaking of the DP.
He might die. The DP gonna go for a run, but the battery assault right behind him. Buying enough time, I think, for this Lena. The Light Strike Ray is gonna land. Killer eventually will just drop. Just no chance of survival through that. At least Aaron does find a courier to trade, but it's gonna mean really nothing.
Yeah, not the biggest kill to find, at least on that courier. You're more than happy for to get that build up. Mithril Hammer already up, not too far away from the Maelstrom. So those stacks not going to last too long here. A 3-0 start for Meteor. And the side of Poke, they've already popped the Dragon form on V. He had a siege creep. They've got the mid down to around half, but they need more. They need to take that out and just invade. They do scout with Ranfu at least.
And he's spotted out all the stacks, so you've got that info now. Go for a Soul Rip, but it won't really heal him up too much. Does avoid the Wild Axes, but the chase is still going. Marblu does have a Scatter Blast up in just a moment. Ranfu, oh, he dodges it! Very cheeky sidestep, breaking the ankles of Marblu, but it won't matter in the end. They will catch him out. Or even YRG was running in, just in case they missed all the spells. And so you do find the Undying, but more importantly for the side of Poke, they know the stacks have been made now.
They know there are massive stacks. They get space out for Lunfa to basically free farm solo as well. So your Drow, again, isn't lagging too far behind the Lina despite not having too many kills under your belt. Killa caught the Laguna, but it's just no follow through from TZ that time around.
Ouch. You won't mind too much. I mean, Laguna's just such a low cooldown anyway. It's not that big of a deal.
Why is it so short? It makes me think of Lion and that level 1 finger cooldown. Like, why?
That's the joke I always make, because people always argue, in fact, hold that thought, because top lane, Molasses going to try for a TP out, is going to make it. He's alright, just one right click away from dying, but will survive. Going back to your point about Lion, John, everyone argues to me it's about the Hex and how he's got Hex and stun, but I agree with you. I think that cooldown's way too long on the Finger of Death.
Yeah, it's atrocious. What's not atrocious is Poke grouping up mid, although...
Oh, it might be, John. Arena's down. Poke not going to be able to find much out of this. They have dropped the Tombstone, but it is going to buy some space for V to move in. Onto that tier 1 mid tower. TZ's going to show up in the clockwork. Glyph being forced. Marblu, he'll show up as well. Even more rotations now as they found the Lena, but there is a stun out. But he will just wait it out. A nice spear back, but V, he is somehow still alive. Level 4 Dragon's Blood just making him so tanky, but eventually he will finally drop. Thing is, the tier 1 tower is still under siege. Killer going for a chase, but this might cost him his own life. He'll try to Spirit Siphon, but it's not going to be enough. Aaron's still running. Tricks of the trade away. The chase is still on. Do they have any spells to throw? The Dragon Slave will connect. It's enough. And the chase from Poke, it will get punished.
If Poke just stayed to clear out that tier 1 mid, they could easily just invade jungle at that point. They did have the right idea. Again, they clump up to try and push, but right now you're basically playing 4 heroes. Your Ricky just doesn't contribute as much. That was a good smoke screen out though. The silence, stalling out to get his spell follow through early on, giving a little bit more time for V to try and survive, but you didn't have enough save. At the least, Dragon form not too far off until you get that use back up, but so is Arena. They've got the numbers to defend here.
I mean, V's going to try again for the mid-tier 1, I think. Here we go. Pops the Dragon form, and yeah. There's no real defending. Like, YRG might try for a deny, but won't even bother for that. I suppose it's time to work on that bottom tier 1 tower, and speaking of... Lena may get caught out. Laguna Black out onto Killer. Spirit Siphon is going, but a very nice stun, and now YRG. He'll rotate at the perfect time. Killer and Aaron both to drop, trying to chase down this Lena. YRG, though, he's there on the Mars to make sure it never happens.
Just a great TP and great read coming out there from the side of Meteor. And they have also managed to already clear out the large camp stacks, and slowly but surely, Molasses is clearing out the Ancients as well with his level 3 axes. So it's not going to take too long. Does have to pop a couple of clarities, but even with the Meteor 1 falling, Poke aren't really able to use that space. And without taking the triangle, the flash farm does still find its way going through here for Meteor. Maybe not in the Lena, but considering the game of it doesn't almost feels unnecessary to pour it onto her because she's just gonna find a farm anyway. Maelstrom flying out, Travel's coming through next. 9-2 start for Meteor, but Poke aren't out of it. You know, they're being really efficient with Lunfa. They're working their way up. Once you have this blink up on V, and once you do hit that 15-minute mark, maybe we can see some plays. Again, the follow through for the Ricky. It's not amazing this game, but Sleeping Dart is Sleeping Dart. It's one of those spells that just ruins you if you do manage to get max utility out of it.
I love the analysis as well about Lena, right? Like as a carry, you said, oh, this could happen, that could happen, but at the end of the day, it's still Lena. She's still going to farm. It doesn't matter. That's all you need to know. It's Lena. She'll find farm. Trust me. TZ. He might just die here, John. Spirit Siphon's out. Slow him down with the smoke screen. TZ's still running, though. We'll get the cogs off, and that's going to be enough. He's fine. Exo was popped. They want the tier 1 bottom tower anyway. And that'll go just fine. Mind you, does find the top tier 1, so it is going to be a bit of a direct trade here for tier 1 towers. Meteor, they can slowly start looking at that mid tier 1 tower. In fact, they might even find V on this Dragon Knight. He's a very tanky boy, though. It may not be that simple, but they do have the Mortimer's Kisses available if they want to. They won't be able to get in range to catch him, though.
Yep. Has the haste and has the blink up from that little farm there as well. So they do have good initiation now on Poke, at least for the single target pickoff. With a follow through from Smoke Screen, you're going to be able to lock in someone and just burst them down while the BKBs aren't up. It's going to be the big target, of course, but you are smoked up here on Meteor as well, though. Ooh.
Yeah, Aaron right into Aaron. Nice hook shot from TZ. At least catches him out. The spear will land as well, and he will not have time for tricks of the trade. So you get a pause for Ricky, but it costs you a 4-man smoke. It's not going to feel good at all.
Nah. It's not the kill you want. And again, that's one of the strengths of the Ricky. You hit 6, you break smokes, you're happy. They are surrounding in a way. They haven't pincered in, but...
Run through. He's the real target. He'll get the tombstone down, completely surrounded. He will just drop. Nobody around to try and protect the tombstone. Problem is, on the other side, TZ is going to get found out by Lun Fu, and V will be the one to take the kill on the Dragon Knight. So 1-for-1 on the position 5s. Mid-tier 1 tower is under pressure now. Aaron will delay things with the smoke screen, but you are still up against the Lena, so we'll just move. Rest of Poke trying to move in to set up for a defense, but it's not going to be that simple. They have the arena up, they have the kisses up, they'll try to jump in on the Lena, but he only takes a Dragon Tail stun and he's fine. He'll just walk away. Thing is, they can't really turn on V too much. He's a very tanky boy, but never mind. He's down. YRG, Catching the drow. In goes CZ with the cogs. Catching that drow completely. And Lunfer, he is not going to survive through it. Meanwhile, Killer sticking around trying to keep the fight going. But look at this Lina. What a hero. Takes down another 2. Finds a triple kill. Into the mid-tier 1 tower they go. He'll find that as well.
Greatest creation we've seen just yet in Dota 2 here, Mike. You come in, I mean, it comes back to this draft, right? You have this blink initiation coming in from V, but where's your follow through? Smoke screen's nice, sure, but there's nothing else to hard lock in these heroes. Your only stun is Dragon Tail. And it just feels like this Riki doesn't get max value because of it. You know, maybe in a drawn out fight, you get the tombstone down in a good spot, and you get good position out for your drow, and you feel a lot better, but in that circumstance, you force out that fight for the defense. They're 4K behind now on Poke and Meteor. And they've got everything they could ask for. Lunfer is getting a bit of a chase.
They will be able to catch out Marbleu in the meantime, so you do get something for your trouble. It's just, it does go back to that point, right? Like, there's no stuns. There's no follow-up. So, for at least the next maybe 5 to 10 minutes, you've really got nothing to do here as Poke but push towers. That's what it feels like.
And that's what their lineup is geared towards. But even then, right now, they're not finding the opportunities to do so. They've got Exo and Dragon Form up. That's the moment you should kind of group up and look for that opportunity. Heck, they even have the Hurricane fight fully done now on Lunfa. So it's a little bit safer from the clockwork. Without BKBs, it's still a bit tricky. Poke will smoke with V and around Fu, but that doesn't sound like the burstiest duo to go smoke here.
Certainly not. They are still going to try and run into Molasses, and they will just do so. V, he'll make the jump in. Tombstone is there. Where's the follow-up stun? Did he stun something else? No, it just never came out.
No. Oh,
so they dropped Tombstone, but they never got the stun. Aaron's there with the sleeping dart at the lead, so they can still catch the Beastmaster, but now the cavalry is here. Arena and hookshot in, but do they have the follow-up? It looks like they found Lunfer on the drow. It is going to be plenty of damage, though. No, the cogs push back. No, Lunfer has made it. He has made it out somehow. Is still being chased down. They should have the follow-up here for the leader. He's trying to fight back, but it's not going to be enough. The 4-star into the cogs pushback, proving to be more than enough for Lunfer to survive. Oh, that's going to hurt. That's a full team wipe.
Oh my god. It's a full team wipe coming off from hesitation. V didn't immediately Dragon Tail because Molasses was so close to his creeps, he couldn't find a hitbox. It's one of those things you're mousing over, you're noticing, I can't find the Beastmaster. I can't find this target I want. And they just bail out. Yeah, just they get the setup, but it's the sustain. You had the mech up, you had the soul rip running. It was enough to keep them alive.
Oh, the perfect reposition as well off the cogs, and I think it was the magic wand that came in clutch for Lunfer at the end. That's gonna hurt so much. That's such a big team fight to hand back the other way.
And that you lose your 4K gold lead now. You've got the Drow who just feels like a really good fall. Heck, even this DK pick into Lina, it makes sense in terms of when you think about what Alina does for damage. Right? She doesn't have the biggest right clicks in the world. She has a lot of right clicks. So you get a high EHP hero like the DK. Early on, it just rips through the Lina. It just stands up to that damage.
TZ, he'll be put to sleep here by Aaron. V there with the follow-up. Even the Gust being committed just in case the clock was thinking about doing something cheeky. And they'll actually have this night. So they want V towards that BKB ASAP. Meanwhile, though, Killer top lane going to get caught as well. Arena was committed as well as the Raw for that, but it's well worth it for the Death Prophet. So a much bigger kill being handed the way of Meteor Gaming. Poke, meanwhile, still chasing, are going to find right under dire vision, but Aaron needs some help. He needs the backup. In they come. Slowly but surely, they are going to make their way there. Sleeping Dart is out. YRG's right around the corner, but he knows they haven't got the follow-up, and he speeds them up. There's your Undying caught out. Is still just rushing away. With the cookie, he finds plenty of distances. Now TZ, he jumps in onto V. The Drow very tanky, but trying to help out as well on the Drow. Oh, that's a great cast. He catches out the Mars. He even caught the Snapfire with that silence. They're going to turn another team fight. He's going to try and help out on the Lina. He does catch at least one, but they've lost Molasses. Needs to run. He will barely survive. 100 HP for the Lina. But now Roshan's open.
Yeah, Poke. They're playing so well. Like we talked about, no follow through for that sleeping guard, but they're managing to find these isolated heroes. They're getting the scouting potential out with this Ricky, and they're using that vision in a big way. Mind you, it's not an easy game to just out vision the side of Meteor here. They've got Clockwork, they've got Beastmaster, they have good vision as well. But they're just able to sneak around with these angles. Really good wards being dropped. No sentries in response coming out from Meteor. And the first Aegis goes the way of Poke. You've got security now in Lanfa. Again, we're seeing that early shard pickup on Lanfa work out. Like we saw it in game 1. Early frost arrows with hypothermia paying off for this time. Lanfa is just showing how menacing that heal reduction is. They find Aaron, but it's a Ricky. Even if it dies like that, you really don't mind too much.
Yeah, it's just creating more space here for the Drow. And it's again, it's very rough here for Meteor. Well, now Lanfa, he's going to find a trade. The clock gets caught. No way out of that one. They know they're on the top side of the map, so the Clockwork just by himself in the mid lane does get caught. At least the kind of battlefield is kind of evened out now because both carries have a Growpo to play with. But still playing so aggressively. Does get caught. Is still somehow alive. Mind you, he does have Aegis up anyway, so they don't want to follow up too far. But it feels like he probably should have lost that first life. Somehow, though, still walking away with it.
They don't fully commit onto Lanfa, so he gets to bail out. Arena's down. It's only a minute, not the biggest deal in the world, but that's more than enough time to maybe go for a push of your own. Connecting with V here down bot. We're reaching a point as well where the BKBs will start to get built up here on the side of Poke.
Oh, Poke is out. They caught the Undying, 4 staff away. They're going to allow Runfu to have a secondary chance at life. Instead, they're going to find V on that Dragon Knight, and they'll have the damage with the Mortimer's Kisses. Runfu is to move in, and does find Marblu. And eventually, well, Cookie Away is going to allow the space. Back onto the Beastmaster, Molasses gets caught with his pants down. All by himself. Somehow, the Snapfire is still running, by the way. Ranfu is trying his best to keep up, but does end up handing his own life back the way of Meteor. A very confusing team fight. Everyone just splitting up and going their own way.
It's certainly a bit split apart. They're still going, though.
This is dangerous. Punishment is there. YRG's in with the spear, but M's not around to help out. Multi-shot will connect TZ. TZ will still drop. Lung first being punished for that.
I mean, they have the spear. They don't have the kisses follow through. Lena's a bit cut off from that angle as well to jump that drow. And you just have free access now to this tier 2. Access into the outpost as well. And Poke, they're playing to their strengths, you know? Playing around that push potential coming out here. The side of Meteor, they have to connect with this team fight. Like, that was just a little bit too split apart. They take that fight without Arena ready on YRG, because if he made that move on mid to Lanfa, losing out in that added control with the kisses coming out makes it a lot rougher. And you can see the confidence in Lanfa here as well. He's going straight for Butterfly. And he's not going for anything big defensive. He knows that even if he's roared, you can probably force staff him out. Get some saves going.
Oh, Book is there. They're going to find the Ricky again. Cookie to follow up, and this time it really won't be too hard onto Aaron, but V, well, never mind, YG does find Lunfer again. Spear is there, but not onto the arena walls, and they don't want the fight. They want to back the hell out of there. The Aegis is still up, so it's not the greatest fight to force. They do get a buyback at least out of Aaron, so it's still a decent team fight for the Radiant side of things. Problem is, though, the mid-tier 2 tower is going to be under siege, and it seems like they may just get away with this. The Glyph is out, but it's not quite enough to force them back yet.
And they got the kisses usage out as well. So they don't have to worry about that for the next minute and a half. Big opportunity to take some of these fights much more confidently from the side of Poke. Age is still running, which means they're not going to be able to line up for anything like Roshan anytime soon. But they've got themselves time and space. Fresh BKB up for V. Lanfer, he's been holding on to that BKB charge with the Aegis up and running. Been very patient with that as well. And you're also going to inch on to kill his BKB. So triple core BKB timing going to line up quite nicely here. And that ruins a lot of what Meteor has in terms of control, in terms of magic damage. You're going to have to rely on Roar to catch at least one hero out. You're going to leave a
Uh-oh.
lot of room for the rest to dance around.
Here we go again. Lunfer, very confident. 30 seconds on the Aegis. We'll eventually move out. Meteor Gaming, they're just going to wait for the Aegis to compile. My thing is as well, like, with the BKB up on V now, like every other team fight you've had, V's just been bursted down. So they are forced to throw basically everything at him to make that happen. Now with the BKB up, you aren't going to have the safety of knowing the Dragon Knight's just dead every team fight.
Yeah, he's got opportunities to play. He can commit much harder with the less cares in the world, and Meteor, they'll try to smoke up here. They do have Arena back up, no kisses, but it's going to be up shortly. If they can find someone to burst, well, they don't have a quick objective to go for, but they could gun for a tier 2 at least.
They'll try for something. Ward's down. They'll see V on the Dragon Knight. Smoke is broken. No, blink away. They wanted to go for someone else. They found Killer, but he has his own BKB up, so he'll happily walk towards them. Hands up as well, looking for a high five. Just wave him away. I suppose you get a BKB usage out of that. You're going to lose that dominated creep. Plus 250 for Killer. It's a bit of a failed smoke attempt here from the side of Meteor.
That's actually pretty alright for Poke. Like, they force out Arena and Roar. If they manage to get a pick-off, or if they line up for a pick-off in that time span, there's no big counterfight, no big control to worry about coming out from Meteor. And for Meteor's part, they jump. Again, these heroes are just so tanky. If you don't jump the Drow or the supports, jumping the DK, jumping the DP, they are so hard to kill with the BKBs, and just how they scale naturally in terms of EHP. That opportunity, Poke just guns for the top tier 1. Again, we've seen this before. Really easy to line up for that top tier 2 right after if you want to.
Here we go. Walk will move in. The Poke will move in.
Radiant's top tower is under
You can tell I'm hungry, Jonathan, thinking of pork right now. It's Poke.
Would you like a pulled Poke sandwich?
Oh, that's terrible, John. That's actually legitimately terrible.
I know it is. I take great joy in that, Mike.
Yeah.
It's my middle name. It's my middle name.
Yeah. Poke, here we go again. Sleeping Dart is out. They found the Mars. YRG, still okay to back off though. They don't really have the vision anymore on that high ground. There's still about a minute left till we find when Roshan's going to come up. Poke, sticking as a unit right now. Like, you've got this Lena you're still up against, but in terms of net worth, hasn't gone kind of crazy. Only 1k ahead of this Drow at the moment. Not feeling quite safe in these team fights either, as they are going to smoke up as 5. Thing is, it might prove to be a very obvious smoke, but well, Poke, we'll see if they get caught with this. Perfect angle for Meteor to try and make a jump in with a nice Arena. They're all grouped up right now. They're going to jump in for the Roar instead. Where's the Arena? YRG, he'll finally get it off. Killer, he's the one being bursted down, and they do get him, but Molasses also went with him. Still, can just get right to work onto Ranfu, and does find the Undying. Onto the Drow they go. That's the real target they wanted. And Lunfer, he cannot fight back. He is gone. In fact, they even find Eren. The Ricky's still just trying to run. Dust will wear off. Cookie does actually land, and they have enough. Well, there you go. The smoke does work out this time for Meteor Game.
And they find a really good angle to use there with a Hawk. It just runs right over them as they climb into the triangle. They don't manage to get the Roar usage out, but it doesn't matter. They isolate, they pin down the DP, they burst her down before she can get any use out of her own spells. And for the side of Poke right now, they're going to have to try and hold. At the least, it's going to be a tier 2 objective, which at this point, you probably don't mind losing out on too much. Full MKB out for though, does mean that the smoke screen is not going to stop the output from our Lina. And the respawns are short enough on Poke that they can contest the next Roshan. The itemization coming out here from Meteor though, we are seeing the Lotus Orbs come back into play. Sanwoo already has his as well. So, again, more ways of just holding back, protecting your cores. The Ags needs to come out from V. Like, this DK Black Dragon has to be up there. You've got to be able to help follow through, get some good damage going, get some mobility out as well for your team. Your free patting, fly over. And they need a way to spot these Hawks. That's been a massive issue. Like, again, the vision game from both sides is kind of even in terms of Ricky, but having Beastmaster and Clockwork makes things a lot harder for Poke to kind of angle in.
Here we go again, Poke. They'll group up with the smoke. There is going to be a quick pause here from YRG. In fact, a very quick pause. Go ahead is there. Gonna have Psychic Headband as well for Aaron if he wants to use it for a bit of extra cast range on that Ricky, but we'll leave it for now. 5 seconds away for Roshan to be back up. This is a huge objective for both teams. Problem is, you are fighting into the Hawk Vision.
Yeah, it's difficult. Flares coming out all the time too. It makes it so much harder to just commit into these objectives. So it's all about jump. When it comes down to these tighter team fights, Meteor are in a better position with the arena, with the kisses up. It's so much easier to take these big clump ups.
Quick sleep there from Aaron. Not going to amount to too much. Thing is, YRG, like, if he lands a nice arena into that double spear, it can be so painful, but he's the one to get caught out first. 4 staffs away. They will force the Exo, and well, with that, of course, Meteor Gaming, they just want to get the hell out of there. They know the Exo's down. They can just wait for it to expire and just go straight for Roshan. And it goes back to the Hawk and Rocket Flare vision. You can't take Roshan right now as Poke. Not without taking a team fight.
Let's try with a
They'll
smoke
try.
again, though.
If they're going to find one, it'll be the snap to start. Arena is down. Killer, he'll just keep going after the Lina, but the Roar is committed. Meanwhile, this Dragon Knight V, he just melts. It's not even close. The damage output is way too high. Still, they are continuing here, Poke trying to find something for their trouble, but nothing is caught. And now IRG, he'll find the Death Prophet once again, this time without a BKB. 4 staffs will save for now, but instead, they'll find a Drow Ranger. Lunfer, he'll try to man up against the Mars, but it's not doing enough. 4 staffs back the other way. TZ does drop. Lunfer still a man on the run. And so is Eren, and so is Killer. The YRG may have gone a bit too far this time around. He'll hold the shield up, but it's not going to be enough to survive. They'll still catch Lunfer in the backside. They'll even find Killer on the Death Prophet. And now Meteor, they'll have access to that mid-tier 2 tower. No buybacks available here for Poke. So Roshan is completely free for Meteor Gaming.
It's not going to take too long for that to melt with how much output is on And again, the big issue right now for Poke is their team fight. It's really not there. I mean, Sleeping Dart, you try to stun, the 4 staff saves are up and running for Meteor. So it's a lot harder to even look for that single target pick-off. And now you've got the dive bomb ready to go on Molasses, secondary life for and the side of Poke, this game gets harder and harder. You can still find angles, but you have to work that pick-off. You're not getting any opportunities out. Now full Satanic up and running for he's going to be just fine holding his ground in the middle of these engagements when the BKB's up and running as well. 9k lead coming out here for Meteor. 33 to 22, 32 minutes in. For the side of Poke, if they manage to catch these heroes out one by one, like even if you find only the supports, that's more than enough to kind of make these team fights easier for you, but you have to go for the burst play. And every time they jump these supports, again, they're always next to each other with 4 staffs.
Roar is out. They're going to find Eren here. M's going to move in. Eren still running. Tricks the trade barely going to come out in time. But you see how confident this Lina is now. Full Satanic up to boot. Just knows there's no real killing her at the moment. You know, my real problem goes back to this Dragon Knight pick, John. Like, what's it actually done this whole game?
And earlier on, it did really well in the pickoffs. It kind of added to their push. And to be fair, while the Lina didn't have too much output, did survive through, but with the Maelstrom procs, with the MKB Pierce, giving some magic damage as well, you're just not as durable anymore on V. So it's past the point where he can just kind of cop a couple of hits from that Lina. He just completely melts, which again highlights just how great a hero Lina is. What a hero. What a character.
What a hero indeed. I wonder if it's going to get nerfed before the major starts. I really do. It scares me, John. It scares me a lot.
Well, there's the Lina Major, Mike.
It is. Makes enough sense. Here we go. Dire triangle. It's going to be the location for the next fight, it seems, as Aaron may get caught. Hookshot is there. Spear is out as well. They even found V in that. He'll be forced to BKB and try to run. The damage flying in already, and now the Raw to come out. Oh, it's such a hard game for V. He's just got no gameplay. There's Ranfu. He'll get battery assaulted so he cannot TP away. Did they just find a DP? Oh, they did.
Oh my god.
Oh, they found two of the spear.
Dire's bottom tower has
I couldn't see it for a moment, but YRG with a perfect spear angle found an extra fish for his trouble. Meanwhile, getting kind of taken out here by the Drow, but never mind. He's the one who wants to force the fight. There's your Satanic Guard, and Lunfer is gone.
burns, doesn't
Lena. Lena's a hero. It's a great
Lena
hero.
is a hero. Lena is one of the heroes of Dota 2, one of the heroes of all time. Look at that range, look at that attack speed. Look at her go. As they gun for the tier 4s, I don't see any comeback for Poke. They don't have the best team fight hold. They don't have as many buybacks they need. They're going to be up there with 4 heroes, but without the Drow, you don't have output here.
No, you don't. That's the thing with this kind of lineup. You know, you got this laning hero. You don't even need to think about going for racks. You just know you got tier 4 towers. The respawn timers aren't too long here, at least for the Dragon Knight, but without the Drow, you've just got 0 damage. Killer, he's going to try. V jumps in. Stun is out. They've caught the snap. That's what. If they can take her down, and they do. Marblue is gone. Can they get the Lena, though? That's the big question. Will stand his ground. Oh, look at this. No fear in the world. 0 fear in the world. Triple kill for the Lena. Back for the rack she goes. It seems like they won't overextend too much, but she's still got the Aegis up. Aaron almost dies. Just jumping in casually. It's YRG with a spear setup. They're still trying to defend it. It's just so rough to see it. TZ with a great cogs out. Just moving forward. He will eventually back off. Sleeping Dart is out. They'll catch the Snapfire. They might find Marblue. He's still running though. This could be a dieback at least if they do catch Marblue. It looks like they will. Marblue will run back the other way. The thing was with that as well, John, they do back up because Lunfer is back. But I swear they could have just taken the team fight and ended the game. Like, who was contesting this Lena? That's my question.
No one. No one. You had more than enough time as well. But instead, you know what? You go back. You come in with a Scotty. You have more stats, more damage, more HP, more of everything. Along with a nice slow to come on hand. And just go again. Like, because nothing gets fixed for Poke despite finding those kills. They still don't have that great team fight. They still have very limited angles into these engagements. There's no quick fix item to sort these issues out. To be fair, the multiple 4-staffs they do have on hand have been making it equally as tough for Meteor Gaming to maybe catch some of these kills. Now, with the Aegis expiring now as well, you might maybe play a little bit more cautiously on Meteor. Just for a moment. Inside of Poke, their condition now, Mike, is if Lunfer can actually become this gigantic right-clicking monster, then maybe you can deal with Lena. That's a big maybe. That's a maybe that I would lean towards a no here, Mike.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you on that, John. It's the thing, right? Like, she doesn't lack the damage. She just lacks someone to hold her down long enough. Like, just gonna BKB, pop Satanic, and survive every single time. I don't see where the follow-up's gonna come from. So here we go. Again, smoke up, smoke on smoke scenario. This has to be the one. If Poke can't win this team fight, the game's over, and they'll run right into each other. They'll make the jump in. TZ's the first target, but look at that arena. It's locked down 4 of them. This is not looking good already for Poke. They'll try to kite them out. Aaron is gone, though. YRG, he will drop, but it's Selena you have to worry about. Roar is out. They caught the Drow. There's no escape. She is dead. Lunfer is down. And I believe a GG call will be incoming very, very soon. 3 down without buyback. They can go right for the Ancient. There's no saving this game.
Nope. Not much you can do with a DK and a DP in this scenario without Exo running as well. The creep wave is it's inching its way forward. No.
GG.
Yeah,
it's a little bit late, but it comes in.
Yeah, they weigh their options. Maybe take the time to just talk to the team. What went wrong?